How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Yell and a Cell Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Zachary Weinberger here with JP Acosta. First of all, JP, how's it going?
It's going great, man. We had a interesting week of wrestling, to say the least. But glad to be here. Glad to be breaking this Fastlane card down.
And that's the thing. We're going to be doing something a little bit different this week and weekend. We usually do kind of the weekend review, and then we do the pay-per-view predictions when there's a pay-per-view that weekend. But we're going to switch it around. We're going to do the pay-per-view predictions first. This is as of Saturday, so all the shows have been passed by. Obviously, card's subject to change, but we're doing what the card is right now. So we'll give you the kind of weekend review that we do every week, probably at least tomorrow or Monday. I haven't seen Dynamite yet. I'm excited to see it. Obviously, the main event I heard was amazing. Want to see it. JP, you said you're going to rewatch NXT. Obviously, we've been doing other stuff. Obviously, for me, this weekend, it's been just sort of doing other stuff. Snyder Cut, huge for the Nerd Pod. Okay, I've been watching that, and there's Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So you got check out the Nerd Pod as well. So I've been busy with that as well. But we're gonna do Fastlane. We're gonna do the Fastlane card. We watch all the shows. So let's just kind of get into it with these matches, and it's kind of a stacked card in a way. There's a lot of good matches on here.
In a weird way, stacked, because
yeah,
we could all go through, or like half the matches could end in a no contest.
I really hope it's I know which one. Actually, let's just kind of get that one out of the way, because I'm pretty much gonna go by what I think is kind of like the least hype matches to like the most hype matches. So speaking of least hyped and what we don't like, as from what we've seen so far, we're getting Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman at Fastlane, and we thought we're still probably gonna get this at WrestleMania, but they're gonna do another match on Sunday. So I mean, JP, I'll give it to you first. What do you think is going to happen in this match? Pick a prediction. So real quick for the viewers or listeners, what we do with predictions, we pick the winner, who we think is going to win, and who we want to win. I don't know if we want anybody to win these matches, but I mean, that's usually what we do. And if you think it's going to be a no contest, you can say that as well. JP, what do you think is going to happen at Fastlane between Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman?
All right, so what I think is going to happen is it's going to be a no contest. There's no way they can do this. The only way Shane McMahon comes back into wrestling for the WWE is at WrestleMania. We all know where this is going. We all know where this is headed. This is going to end up in a Extreme Rules match at WrestleMania. That's how it's going to be. We know that. That's all Shane McMahon does at this point. He comes around WrestleMania season, does the leap of faith onto the announce table. I think he did that last week on Raw. And so it's like, yep, here we go. It's WrestleMania season. So I think it ends in a no contest. I want this to end in a no contest, not because I want to see this at WrestleMania, but I don't know, man. I just have zero excitement for this at all.
Yeah, I don't want this match to happen. So here's what I think is going to happen. I pretty much agree. Actually, I think there's going to be a winner here because there's no stipulation with this. So I'm going to say that Braun Strowman wins, but he's going to win by Shane McMahon probably whacking him with a steel chair just to kind of to throw out the match, and then we'll get something at WrestleMania most likely. But I just don't know why they're doing it. It's funny because we're going to get 3 matches technically, between these two. We got one on Raw, and again, we'll talk about the weekend review when we get to it, but it's going to be the second one at Fastlane. Again, there has to be a reason why there's no stipulation here. So I think it's going to end in a DQ. Strowman's probably going to, win, but it'll be probably because Shane's going to be cheating or whatever. So yeah, I don't want, and for who I want to win, I don't want anybody to win, frankly.
See,
so
I wanted to say that, but I'm like, no. I'm not going to say I want anybody to win. I just, hopefully they both hit each other with steel chairs and that ends the match.
Yeah, so you heard it here first from both of us. We don't think there's going to be no one's getting pinned, no one's going to tap out. It's either going to be a no contest or someone's going to get DQ'd. So I think Braun's going to win by disqualification. JP thinks it's going to be a no contest. Let's go to another match where I am kind of excited for because but I still think we'll see about the ending there. Let's move on to Randy Orton versus his most toughest opponent yet, Alexa Bliss. Um, this match was challenged by Alexa Bliss on Monday Night Raw, and Randy accepted it. She said basically, you're gonna have to kick me out of your life, and then Randy Orton said that's exactly what I'm gonna do, literally. So we're having this match. I'll start here real quick. I think that Alexa Bliss will win. Um, with with the return of the Fiend happening at Fastlane, I think we're gonna get the return of the Fiend here. It would be weird if we don't. I feel like it's time already. We've been through the kind of time where it's just Alexa Bliss kind of teasing when the Fiend's coming back, sort of thing. Um, so I think the Fiend is going to return, and Alexa Bliss is going to pin Randy Orton to beat him. Now, whether we saw two Randy Ortons that one time on Raw, so maybe we get two Randy Ortons appearing on screen. This might be the main event. Who knows? Kind of like how TLC was. They'll probably do some cinematic stuff. I don't know. So, yeah, I'm picking Alexa Bliss to win this, with the Fiend's return. And I guess I want Alexa Bliss to win. JP, what do you think?
Hey, you know that back in WCW when Kane was fake Diesel, they're gonna get somebody to be fake Randy Orton.
There you go.
But man, I'm still shocked they're going through with this. Like when the WWE, when everybody said WWE wouldn't do intergender matches, they're like, hold on, have a Randy Orton. He will RKO Nia Jax. He'll punt kick. I forgot who he punt kicked, but he RKO Beth Phoenix and Alexa Bliss.
He punk kicked Stephanie McMahon.
Punt kick Stephanie McMahon. I don't think Randy Orton cares. That man is a menace. I honestly think this one is a no contest as well. I don't think this one has a clean winner. I think Randy Orton is going to set up for like the RKO, then the lights will go out, and then the Fiend will show back up. But nobody will actually like win. It'll just be like the Fiend like dragging him into the funhouse or something. So maybe like Randy wins by like disqualification or something, but I don't think there's a clean finish. However, I am on the same boat as you. I want Alexa Bliss to pin Randy Orton. That is something that I didn't even think about until now. I'm like, dude, that would create the most awesome thing ever. Because now Alexa Bliss can go for the Raw Women's title and say, none of y'all have pinned Randy Orton. I have. That automatically moves her up to number one contender. Move out the way, Charlotte. Give me Alexa Bliss versus Asuka at WrestleMania. You know what? We'll do you one better. We'll have Alexa Bliss beat Randy Orton clean as a whistle at Fastlane. Randy Orton beats Asuka for the Raw Women's title. And at WrestleMania, you get Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton for the Raw Women's title.
So according to JP, in 2021, not only did he predict Ric Flair to win the Raw Women's title, but now he's predicting Randy Orton to win the Raw Women's title.
Hey man, I was close with the Ric Flair thing.
You were not.
I was close.
No, you were not.
They were involving him in that storyline. I was close.
Yeah, no. But
yeah, I want Alexa Bliss to pin Randy Orton. That'd be the awesomest thing that happened in WWE in 2021.
Yeah, and again, I think it's going to be a reality. I think that's what's going to happen. I just don't see any way that Randy Orton gets on top here. I just think that we're going to see a Fiend return here, and I think it will result in Alexa Bliss pinning him, and then obviously that will set up some sort of Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania. I saw a theory, by the way. I'll just kind of shoot this at you that like we get to the Funhouse and like John Cena's locked up, like in chains in the Funhouse when Randy Orton sees him. Imagine that. Dude, that would be cool.
You know what? Now that we've seen that the Fiend can control Randy Orton doppelganger, what if he has like John Cena in the Funhouse as kind of like a puppet of his that he controls? That would be crazy.
Yeah. So, by the way, I just think it's funny though because we saw the whole thing between Randy Orton and Soulja Boy, right? And like that whole thing of like, it's fake, it's not fake, and like Randy Orton literally is in a storyline where like he's fighting like a witch. Kind of, and the Fiend.
The Fiend. Well, so what the Fiend is, we just call him the Fiend.
He's just a Fiend. So recap, I think that Alexa Bliss is gonna beat Randy Orton on Sunday,
What a lot.
and I think that would be the headline of the article.
What a
Yeah,
lot.
it's and JP thinks it'll end in a no contest. And JP also agrees with me. We want to see Alexa Bliss win this. So go Alexa. We move on to a full-on women's match. Women's for the women's tag team championships. We have Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending against Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. So we're gonna alternate on who starts first here. So JP, you could start with this one. Who do you think's gonna win? Who do you want to win? Have your little explanation. What are you thinking?
So this match has kind of been up and down for me. I really don't think this match needs to happen, especially within the main point of Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. I don't think it needs to be for a tag titles in that feud. But I do think they can put together a pretty good match. I'm actually enjoying some of the matches that Shayna and Nia Jax have put on as a tag team. I think that Shayna and Nia Jax are going to win. I think it's pretty much this is the easiest pick on here for me to think is going to win. I also think that Bianca Belair. No, I actually think Sasha Banks eats the pin. I think Bianca gets fed up and like leaves, and Sasha eats the pin. I don't know how that's going to affect the whole WrestleMania run. I don't know. That might set the IWC on fire because they have the women's champion taking a pin in a tag title match. But I both think and want Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax to win just because it makes the most sense at this point.
Yeah, I'll agree with there. You know, I definitely think that we'll see the tag champs retain here. And when it comes to who will, and I also want them to win, I don't think, again, we've said this multiple times here. We said this in an elimination chamber in our predictions for that. The Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, they don't need the tag team championships to make a good storyline. Again, we've talked about how their WB is kind of making it hard for themselves to book this sort of thing. When in fact, again, I'm not a promoter, not a booker. It seems pretty easy to kind of book these two in the lead up to in the build up to WrestleMania. And again, I just feel like our favorite person is going to interfere in this match. Reginald is going to get involved here. I can already tell. And again, I just hope that past this match and past Fastlane, we don't see Reginald involved with Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks anymore. I agree with Bianca Belair on last Friday where he was saying it's literally your fault that you're entertaining Reginald here. I think like one of the first things we see is like Sasha Banks saying, "Oh, it's because of Reginald we're losing and stuff," and she's like, "But why are you entertaining him in the first place?" Which I agree with, but I think it's going to happen again. I think we'll see Reginald get involved, and I think Sasha Banks will eat the pin. And then obviously the whole feud between Bianca Belair, Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, that fuel will be ignited even more. But again, you need to move past Reginald here. As when you're a couple weeks away, you're several weeks away from WrestleMania. Reginald does not need to be involved in one of the a possible main event for night one, night two, whatever. So again, I think that they win there. I think they lose as well. You know, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair there, but once again, WWE, it's not that hard. You know,
Really?
just it's really not that hard. Just take Reginald out of there. Again, I don't mind Reginald being with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, but they should not be with in this huge storyline, this historic match going into WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? So, but and I also want Nia Jackson and Shayna Baszler to win as well. So I had do you want to say something? I had a point, but I'm trying to remember what it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the main person or main like thing that people are gonna be talking about. The main person people are talking about in this feud is Reginald between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, which shouldn't be a thing considering this is A for WrestleMania and two it's for a women's title match. The main talking point of this shouldn't be Reginald. You literally could have gone with who is the better wrestler and people would be intrigued. But people are still gonna be intrigued because it's Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, but that interest level has gone down so low because you've added Reginald into all of this. So I definitely think Shayna and Nia win. I also think that Shayna and Nia need to find some new challengers for WrestleMania. They're obviously going to defend the titles there, but I don't know against who. Like that is going to be that should be interesting. How they're going to build up a new challenger within 4 weeks on Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah. And to answer your point, I just want the Riot Squad to have the women's tag team titles already, and we haven't seen them on SmackDown in a while, and hopefully, again, we'll see when we get closer to WrestleMania. They're pretty much building them Natalia and Tamina.
Oh
Maybe
god.
them? I don't know. But so I remember the point here. I remember kind of people predicting for this women's tag team championship match that maybe we see Sasha turn back heel. What do you think about that?
I don't necessarily. I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but I don't necessarily think she has to like do a complete heel turn for this feud. I think she could just show anger and still be a face and just kind of walk off. I think that'd be a perfect thing to do instead of going full on heel and doing face versus heel at WrestleMania. Of course, that's like the textbook thing you want for a WrestleMania match, but two faces fighting each other works too. So it's just they're trying to do too much with this storyline. I feel like turning Sasha heel would be adding on to that doing too much.
Completely agree. I don't think that she should be heel either. I think it should be face going into there. And again, the story's there. Who really is the EST at WWE? Sasha thinks it's her. I think it's already built in there. So again, we both think that Nia and Shayna will retain here, and I think you probably want them to retain as well, right? So we'll move on from that as well. We get to a match that was added pretty recently. I would think it was added yesterday. Really, it was on a Twitter kind of thread for the matches at Fastlane. Mustafa Ali is going to get a rematch against Matt Riddle, excuse me, just Riddle for the United States Championship. And I'll go ahead and start here. I don't think we see a new champion. I think we'll still have Matt Riddle retain his championship, a pretty young into his title reign. I don't think he loses it just yet. Because I think we have a person who we haven't seen in a long time and hopefully return and get it, being Keith Lee. I really hope we get that match. You kind of put that match into my head of Matt Riddle and Keith Lee at WrestleMania for the title. That would be amazing, and I hope that's still in the works. I just think that right now we've seen this story with Ali being very mad at the Retribution members for failing him, for not doing anything good. I think we just see more of that happen at Fastlane. I think we get more time here. I think it will be a really good match between the two guys, but I don't see a new champion being crowned on Sunday. So I think Riddle retains. I think he has the championship probably until WrestleMania, depending on who the opponent is there. Hopefully Keith Lee, but I don't see a reason to take the title off of him. Who do I want to win? I think I'll still go Riddle. As much as I'd like to see Ali with the championship, I just being the champion with Retribution being as fragmented it is right now, I don't think it works really. So I'm gonna say Matt Riddle retains. JP, what do you think?
So I think Matt Riddle retains partially because I think they're gonna set up Matt Riddle versus Keith Lee at WrestleMania. I think whatever is going on with Keith Lee, I hope that it's gonna be kind of cleared up by Mania. Then they'll have that big blow off match. I think originally Keith Lee was supposed to win the title at Elimination Chamber, but we'll see. Um, Although I do want Mustafa Ali to win this title at Fastlane. And the reason is because one, I think Mustafa Ali can do much more as a heel with the US title than Matt Riddle has done so far. And also Retribution needs a win. They absolutely need a win somehow, some way. Because all they've done is lose, 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 lose. And it's making them lose credibility as a faction. Like nobody takes them seriously. So they need a title win or a big win in some way to get people to treat them seriously because nobody cares about Retribution. Mustafa Ali can cut as many promos as he wants, but nobody's going to care about them until they win the titles. So I want Mustafa Ali to win. And also I think it'd be a pretty cool moment for him to get his first main roster title, to be the US title. I think he can do so much with it just from his story and his promos. And again, if Keith Lee isn't ready to go by WrestleMania, you can just have that rematch. So I want Mustafa Ali to win, but I do think Matt Riddle retains.
And there you have it. So just to recap, I want Matt Riddle to retain, and I think he will retain. JP thinks he will retain, but he wants Mustafa Ali to win that. Should be a good one, depending on how much time I like. I really hope they don't just have like a quick win here, a quick roll up for Matt Riddle to win there. We could see some Retribution making a mistake if Ali wanted their help, but then obviously, maybe Riddle takes advantage of that. So we'll see if that happens. So, um, but we think that there won't be a new United States champion. Going back to SmackDown, we have Seth Rollins going up against Shinsuke Nakamura, a matchup that was created yesterday. Seth Rollins has been calling out Cesaro the past couple weeks, past month really, kind of like not embracing the vision, kind of like stand when the whole roster kind of left, he just stood there, Cesaro, but he left just to rub it in his face, and they've been into a rivalry lately. But obviously still a friend to Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura. He's been kind of appearing backstage. Just recently, he attacked him on SmackDown and got the upper hand there. So since we're alternating here, I'll start with you, JP. Who do you think is going to win between Shinsuke Nakamura and Seth Rollins? And obviously, who do you want to win? Who do you think is going to win?
So this is gonna hurt me so much, but I both think and want Seth Rollins to win against Shinsuke Nakamura. It makes the most sense considering this is gonna be one of his first matches back since he returned at the Royal Rumble. It'll be one of his first matches. It'll be his first singles match, I believe. I'll have to go back and check that. But it just makes sense to keep building up this rivalry between Seth and Cesaro. You can have Seth Rollins beat Shinsuke, do some heel stuff after the match. Cesaro come out and save him. And I also want Seth Rollins to win just because it makes the most sense. But this is a sneaky match of the night contender because I feel like if they give this enough time, then they could have a barn burner. I remember the Survivor Series match between Seth Rollins and Shinsuke from a couple years back. Absolutely amazing. I think they can do even better now. The roles reversed as Shinsuke is a face and Seth is the heel. So I'm excited for this one. I really am, but I do think and want Seth Rollins to win.
Completely agree. Do I want Seth Rollins to win? I guess just to make the story make sense, I think I do. Again, we're there's it seems like a kind of a for sure thing at this point. We're going to see Cesaro and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. It will still both nights maybe, because obviously it just those two guys in the ring can make magic. And the same thing I think with Shinsuke Nakamura. I think Seth Rollins in his first match back in a while against Shinsuke Nakamura at Fastlane. I think it's going to be great. I think it's be one of those matches again, like you said, that could be the sneaky kind of stealer of the night where it is match of the night, even though you have matches on here like Reigns and Daniel Bryan and Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Um, Match to me, I think this could be great. And again, I really hope that they give this match time because you can find a way here to not have Shinsuke look weak. You can have Shinsuke look strong in defeat here against Seth Rollins. So I definitely think Seth Rollins is going to win this. And listen, this is one of the more hype matches of the night. That really, I would say, more than all the championship matches except for one, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, I'm excited for this one, and we both think and want Seth Rollins to win this. If it tops their Survivor Series matchup, like you said, when each was the Intercontinental and one was the United States Championship, we're in for a good one. So speaking of the Intercontinental Championship, we go to Big E versus Apollo Crews for the IC title. On SmackDown, yesterday, they had a little face-to-face via satellite sort of conversation that really translated to them beating each other up backstage. I'll start here, and really the conscious answer should be that Apollo Crews should probably win this, right? I mean, he's taking a lot of L's to Big E, and do you think will he get another one at Fastlane? Even though he's in this new kind of gimmick, he's more comfortable in his role that he's been giving these past couple weeks, being as part of Nigerian royalty and stuff like that. What's going to happen here? But I still think that Big E's going to retain here. It hasn't really been like 3 months since Big E has been world champion. I really don't see a reason to kind of take the title off of him. And I don't even think that past this match, this is going to be the end of their feud. I feel like now that since we've seen this kind of new and improved Apollo Crews, I just don't see him winning the title at Fastlane. I feel like we're going to get this one again at WrestleMania. So I'm going to say Big E retains here. I think of who I want to win. I think it is Apollo Crews, though, of who I want to win, because again, this new gimmick he has is great. I'm really enjoying his work on SmackDown, but I think it's just too early for Biggie to get the title off of him. So I'm gonna say Biggie retains, and I want Apollo Crews to win. What's your thoughts on this?
Oh boy. So I think if you give this match enough time, this is my pick for match of the night. If it gets enough time. I think Apollo Crews wins via dirty heel tactic. I think the ref isn't going to be looking. He's going to like rake the eye or low blow, and he'll get the title that way. That way it sets up, you can have Apollo Crews versus Big E at Mania. We're basically saying like, hey, you cheated to win. That's not a clean victory. So you can go back to this. I do agree this feud is going to continue after Fastlane. I think it's going to continue straight into Mania, which is why I think there's going to be a heel tactic here that Apollo Crews uses to win. I also think he's on fire right now with this promo, with the intensity. I think this is a perfect moment for him to get the title. I do want Big E to win though. Big E is one of my favorite wrestlers on SmackDown. I think the match itself is going to be great. The intensity that he's shown in this rivalry has been top tier, and I wouldn't mind seeing him win. But also, like, it's good. We're gonna get this again at WrestleMania, so I wouldn't be surprised if this goes short. Just as kind of like, oh, there's more to come with this. I could definitely see this being a short sprint match, but I do think Apollo Crews wins via a low blow or something.
Yeah, even kind of going back to my pick, I honestly feel that we might get like I think Biggie will retain here, but it could be a DQ finish again, kind of preparing for that match at WrestleMania that I think it's going to be coming. So I could definitely see Apollo Crews doing something. Again, there's no stipulation to this, so it's just a normal match. So I definitely think we'll see Biggie retain here for me. Could be a DQ finish. It really just depends. I can see kind of both ways going. I could see Apollo winning, but also see Biggie retaining. So it's gonna be one of those matches that you're not gonna see what's gonna be happening. Again, could be match of the night. Could very well be. We move on to the final two matches, and we'll go to Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus next. And throughout the week, when they made this match on Monday, I was very scared that this was not going to have any stipulation with this. We were kind of discussing, what possible stipulations, maybe a last man standing, maybe, we had other kind of stipulations in mind there. But so yesterday they announced it's going to be no holds barred. So pretty much anything goes. Obviously, their first match that they had on Raw several weeks ago was absolutely great. Probably the best television WWE match this year by far. And then you had their second match, which was a no DQ match. It ended in a no contest because they slammed steel steps at each other's head. And then now it's no holds barred. We're gonna get a winner here. So I'll start. And actually, no, it's your turn to go first. So who do you think is gonna win? Who do you want to win? Any shenanigans are going to happen here? What's your thoughts?
I don't think there are any shenanigans. I both think and want Drew McIntyre to win. I think this makes clear sense. If he's going to be the challenger for Bobby Lashley going into WrestleMania, you have to make him look dominant going into this. Beating Sheamus in a no holds barred match where they're going to like kill each other is going to make Drew look even more dominant, make him look like an angry challenger who wants his title back. So I think Drew is going to win. I want Drew to win just because it makes the most sense story-wise. I just don't see any logic in Sheamus winning if Drew is going to be the challenger at WrestleMania for Bobby Lashley.
Yep, completely agree. I think Drew's going to win, and I want him to win. Again, weirdly, they did announce the match between him and Bobby Lashley, so, a couple weeks ago on Raw, or excuse me, this past Monday, really. Interesting choice to kind of set it up. We'll see if the card changes, the match changes. Obviously, match subject to change, like it always says. But for me, I listen. We have to give all the props here to Sheamus. Sheamus has been doing some amazing work in the ring, especially when he's in the ring with Drew McIntyre. Their chemistry is impeccable. You could just tell that they really trust each other, even in a feud that they really did. It's like a blood feud. So and that's the best part, right? So I'm enjoying what he's doing. To me, he's kind of giving me Jey Uso vibes, just because he's doing in the ring. They're so good, but they always lose. They always lose. But even in loss, he just looks really good. And again, I think we're gonna see. Hopefully, we see the best out of their three matchups so far. Definitely better than the second one. That first one was great, and I think that they can top that for sure in this third one. Um, Now I think that this will probably be match of the night. And again, I think it's because of that chemistry that they've been having, not only recently but throughout their kind of wrestling careers. So I think this is going to be great. And again, I kind of talk about this pay per view. It's like, a lot of matches here could be match of the night. So I mean, not a bad card here. Obviously, we have like McMahon and Strowman, women's tag team titles, whatever. But this match could be great, no holds barred. So happy with the stipulation, happy with that. So I think that going into WrestleMania, we need Drew to have those wins, to have that momentum. I think he's going to win, and I want him to win. So moving on to the main event, most likely, I would think, for the Universal title, as Daniel Bryan will go up against Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Edge will be the special enforcer to this match. So I'll start. I'll say that Roman Reigns is definitely going to retain here. I mean, I can't lie. I want Daniel Bryan to win. Don't get me wrong. I just don't see a reason. I think I just don't see a reason to take the title off of Reigns here. I think he's easily going to go into WrestleMania as the Universal Champion here. The question is, how will Edge get involved? And I think he will. I think he's going to screw over Daniel Bryan here, and which will probably lead to his involvement in a triple threat match at WrestleMania. I think it's bound to happen at this point. So I think it's gonna be great though, for the most part. I just think that Edge will get involved, obviously, just to kind of make everybody know. Special enforcer does not mean special referee. They're just on the outside. They're gonna call it like it is. Kind of dumb though. I can't lie. The whole special enforcer sort of thing. It's kind of like they're a manager, but for no one.
I guess the point of it is to negate the Jey Uso effect.
Right.
So there's so many moving parts with this match where it creates a lot of uncertainty. Like, we've forgotten about Paul Heyman, who is known for getting involved in some matches when it gets close. So, oh man, this is going to be interesting. But
Yeah.
If I were to make a prediction, before I make my prediction, I'm going to call back. This is going to be like a throwback. The first episode of SmackDown, August 6, 1999. Yeah, The Rock versus Triple H with Shawn Michaels as the guest referee. The Rock is setting up, do the people's elbow. Shawn Michaels, sweet chin music's him. Triple H retains or wins the title. End of show. That's what I think is going to happen here. Daniel Bryan's going to set up the running knee. Edge is going to spear him. Roman gets the win. I think the ref is going to be like out of it somehow. There's going to be some shenanigans near the end where I think Roman's going to win. I think Edge spears Daniel Bryan. And it kind of sets up, like you were saying, like, hey, I didn't ever get a fair shot because you speared me. It'll lead to a triple threat at Mania. I kind of want Daniel Bryan to win, though. I just think it would create so much chaos. Just because then you're like, oh, well, does Roman get his rematch at WrestleMania? But Edge is still the Royal Rumble winner. There's so many moving parts here. It creates so much intrigue if Daniel Bryan wins. And I don't think Roman loses a lot if he loses. I think Roman Reigns is very in that John Cena tier where he doesn't lose much at all from losing. Like, he could lose a match and just make it up the very next week. And because I think that's how strongly he's booked. But I really want Daniel Bryan to win. I'm going to be sad if he doesn't, but I'm also going to understand it. But I ultimately think Roman wins with some Edge shenanigans.
So here's why I think, honestly, Roman's going to win, because they really, again, the past couple of weeks, especially this past Friday on SmackDown, literally yesterday, Daniel Bryan has been saying, I'm going to make you tap out, and consistently saying that. And I just don't see any way for him to be tapping out at all, especially with the gimmick of his character. Again, I feel like taking a pin, to me anyways, is kind of like it's less detrimental than tapping out for sure, because that's like pretty much quitting, and it hurts your kind of character. And Roman Reigns is not that. So whoever that eventual person may be that might make Roman tap out, I just don't think Daniel Bryan is gonna do that. I know at the end of his promo, he said, anyways, whatever it may be, I'm still leaving Fastlane with the title, but I just think it's gonna be played out like we kind of both agreed to. That I said obviously was I think Edge is gonna get involved there, and you kind of pretty much set the picture. I think he's gonna set up a running knee, Edge gonna come in and spear him, and Roman's gonna is gonna win that way. Maybe put the guillotine to kind of like put the final nail in the coffin, maybe. Um, and again, I think Daniel Bryan will have that sort of like argument. The first time I got my chance, I already went through like a crazy, insane elimination chamber match, and then the second time I was screwed over by Edge, put me in the triple threat. I think that's what's going to happen. So, and I think listen, I before that though, I think it'll be a great match.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
absolutely.
I actually just watched their Fastlane match for the first time a couple days ago. Great stuff. Will it top it? If it does, then it's gonna be great. So you heard it here first. We both think Roman Reigns is going to win, and we both want Daniel Bryan to win. Again, pretty much from my same reason for like JP said, the amount of chaos. I mean, imagine Twitter. Oh my god,
It's gonna blow.
yeah, it's gonna blow up. So that's
It's,
Fastlane.
there's so many matches on this card where you're just like, dude, if one of these people wins, Twitter's gonna blow up. Like, I'm just thinking, like, again, going back to that Shane McMahon Braun Strowman match. I think whatever happens in that, like, imagine if like Vince McMahon gets involved and like you hear the no chance. He starts walking down to the ring, and Braun Strowman's looking all confused. Shane wins, and it's just like, what is happening? I just want that chaos. I enjoy when wrestling Twitter is in chaos, but the good kind of chaos.
I feel like the IWC is always in chaos for the dumbest reasons. So they're gonna be in chaos whenever it happens. Like everything could go according to plan, and they'll find a way to complain. So, I mean, that's pretty much every fandom. Oh man. So we'll talk about. Let's kind of recap all the matches we've talked about so far. As I'm pulling up the match card right now. First off, obviously Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon. We both. So I thought that Braun Strowman's gonna win by disqualification. That Shane's gonna pull out maybe like a steel chair, some sort of weapon, and kind of do something like that. And then obviously we'll set up the match at WrestleMania. Who I want to win? No one. For JP, I don't think he wants anybody to win either, right?
I want anybody to win, man. And I think it ends in a no contest. I don't think it makes it to. I don't think we see the end of this match. Braun is gonna like snap. He's gonna like lose control or something, and they'll both be counted out of the ring. End in no contest. Shane's probably gonna try and pour some more Nickelodeon slime on him. So, oh gosh.
Yeah, that's our most hyped match, as you can tell. For the next one, we have Randy Orton taking on Alexa Bliss, and we both want Alexa Bliss to win. I think she's going to pin him. I think she's going to pin Randy Orton on Sunday with the help of the Fiend, who's going to be returning at Fastlane. You think that it's going to be a no contest too, right?
I think either no contest or Randy wins by disqualification. I think the Fiend does show up, but he's gonna interfere somehow. What if like the Fiend, like, what if Alexa Bliss like transforms into the Fiend? Like Mystique shapeshifter. What if the Fiend has been Alexa Bliss the whole time, and he's just shapeshifting?
That would be
That would be amazing.
That would be interesting.
I've now talked myself into like 7 different theories for this feud.
Okay. You got me there. She'll pull a Mystique, Martian Manhunter, center thing, shapeshift. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Oh man, that match. I think maybe I honestly would not be surprised if this will be like the main event sort of thing, which will be weird.
I don't know if it'll be the main event because I don't think this match goes past 5 minutes.
It's weird though.
You can't logically have a match between Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton go past 5 minutes because Randy Orton's going to try and commit a crime.
Well, to me, you can't logically have this match that you're probably right will last 5 minutes over a Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. So yeah, well, to be any match really. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But moving on, United States title, Mustafa Ali against Matt Riddle. We both think Matt Riddle will win. I want Matt Riddle to win. JP thinks that wants Mustafa Ali to win. Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth Rollins. We both think and want Seth Rollins to win, even though we love Shinsuke. Obviously, I mean, My God, how long has it been since that gauntlet match? We were just like,
Dude,
Shinsuke is destined WrestleMania, Shinsuke and Roman for the title. Nope.
it's been like 2 months.
It's been a long 2 months, man. That can't be. Um, but yeah, we both think Seth Rollins is going to win, and we both want Seth Rollins to win the women's tag team championship match. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending against Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair. We both think and want Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler to win there, and we think that again, Original will probably get involved some sort of way in this match, but hopefully past then, Original will not be involved anymore. Intercontinental title match: Big E, Apollo Crews. Um, I think Big E's going to win. I want Apollo to win, even though I wouldn't mind Big E winning, but I want Apollo to win. JP thinks that Apollo's going to win, and he wants Big E to win.
Yeah.
So obviously a little switch up there between me and him there. We went to the final 2 matches. Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, no holds bar. We both think and want Sheamus, or excuse me, we both think I want Drew McIntyre to win. But Sheamus will obviously look great in that match as well. Universal title match. We both think Roman Reigns will retain here. We both want Daniel Bryan to be the new Universal
We're gonna
Champion.
be so let down on this. We both
But here's the thing, like, here's the thing. I'm not expecting him to win.
now.
I'm not expecting him to win at all. So, if it happens, I will be shocked. But I just don't think it's gonna happen. I think again, we both think that Edge will be involved in some sort of way to probably screw over Daniel Bryan, leading to the triple threat. But what were we gonna say?
I'm gonna be floored if Daniel Bryan wins. Like that'll be, oh man, dude. If this was Vince Russo booking, Daniel Bryan would absolutely win.
Vince Russo would win the title.
Vince Russo himself
if
would win the Universal title.
Yeah, yeah. So
Vince Russo, David Arquette at WrestleMania.
Listen, we almost got Lacey Evans winning the Raw Women's title, so I mean,
and Ric Flair,
and Randy Orton too. So that's Fastlane. Again, we were kind of both saying a pretty interesting card, but a lot of matches there that could, possibly be in our top 10 matches of the year so far. Which again, I think what we should do is that in the weekend review, we should recap our top 10 matches of the year so far. Why not? Because I mean, it's been updated since then. The reason why I say until that episode, because I really want to see this Britt Baker Thunder Rosa lights out match, because I feel, from what I'm hearing, all the pictures I've seen, I'm like, okay, this match is speaking to me. So we'll see. But that's it for us. Again, expect a weekend review this upcoming week. Or weekend, we want to do that AEW WWE Dream Matches sort of thing, so we'll get that done as well. And anything else, again, shoot us ideas, like, comment, subscribe, comment what you think we should do next, any tier ranking videos, any general topics, any general news you want us to talk about, we'll do it for you guys. Follow us on Twitter at Yale_Sell. For me personally, you can find me on Twitter at Zach Weinberger, Zach with an H, WEIBERGER. Same thing on Instagram as well. I think it's Zach with a K on Instagram. On me and Jacob Brown, we do another podcast, the Nerd Pod 2 on Twitter. You can find us at the Nerd Pod. Huge episode upcoming. Obviously we had Zack Snyder's Justice League come out this weekend. Literally my favorite thing in the whole entire world. Awesome stuff.
How many times have you watched this since it came out?
So I watched it once, and I'm literally in the middle of watching it twice. So, JB, have you watched it yet?
I haven't yet. It is on my list. I'm going to eventually.
We'll definitely make time. Obviously, it's 4 hours. It's in parts. You can do it. I think you'll like it. Falcon and Winter Soldier also came out this weekend. We got some stuff, a lot of good stuff for the Nerd Pod, so check us out there. Stuff also right for the University Press. Speaking of which, I'm going to be writing a review for Zack Snyder's Justice League for the UP newsletter, which will eventually come out later on the website later in the month. Can't wait to write that. Can't wait for you guys to share that with you guys. @UPressOnline is the Twitter. UPressOnline.com is the website. JP's Twitter is @Acosta32_JP. Where else can they find you?
They can find me at Big Cat Country. NFL free agency just wrapped up this week. We had a lot of crazy stuff happening. I talk all about sports, college football, college basketball. March Madness is absolutely insane this year. Shout out to Oral Roberts, busting my bracket. But, I also talk about anime. I'm on I'm business manager for the University Press. I'm on the sports podcast. I'm on the entertainment podcast where me and Entertainment Elliot editor, Elliot Rodriguez, talked all about anime. If you're into that, you should go check it out. We'll definitely have another one coming up. But that's where you can find me so far. I got some pretty exciting, pretty cool story ideas that I'm thinking of, that I'm working on right now in the lab. But I'm excited to get that out to you guys.
Oh yeah, no, and one more thing, you can also find me doing some freelance work. Just started for the Jewish Forward. You can find there. One story I'm working on deals with wrestling. Excited to share that one once that gets its wheels kind of going. So
Man,
that's gonna do it for us here.
can I say that the story is going to be the pinnacle of your writing?
Ooh, good tease there. I think it will be. I
Yeah,
think it will be.
it is.
Um, oh man, I can't wait to share it. Hopefully, it gets into fruition. We'll talk about obviously we'll talk about it once we get into it. So that's gonna do it for us at Yellen. So, well, one thing I did want to say for you, since you obviously write for Big Cat Country, write for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You didn't get any tight end you like, huh? Not even one.
Oh God.
Not no Gerald Everett, no Hunter Henry. Did you guys get anybody even?
We got Chris Mayerts, who has 12
Hey,
catches in 7 years.
yeah.
He can block though,
Hey,
but
good luck.
don't expect him to catch a pass.
Yeah, I mean Dolphins have been kind of weird, kind of silent, doing some little moves here. We just cut a guy we traded a 7th round pick for, Zaya Wilson. Interesting what will happen there. But again, that's just football talk. This is wrestling. You know, professional wrestling, the real sport, professional,
Yeah.
real. It don't say it's not real.
There's a reason that JBL quit football to be a wrestler. That's where the real people.
Exactly.
Goldberg quit football to be a wrestler. Roman Reigns quit football, wrestling. Wrestling's where it's at.
That's where it's at. That's where it's at. So that's gonna do it for us at the Yellow and Solo Pro Wrestling Podcast. Again, like, comment, subscribe, support us on podcasting streaming platforms. We'll see you again next time.